No question is too crazy to ask. I've asked a lot of them. Uh, and he's very gracious to answer those questions.
I mean, it's a different when you work with a planner like me, certified financial planner, as opposed to like a Fidelity, a 1-800 number. You just get some, or Fisher Investments or whoever else is out there. They're not going to tell you to make sure you have a fax machine, printer, scanner at home so you can conduct business in downtimes, or it's just they're just going to talk investments. That's it. So It's important you get the whole package, a good planner, good CPA, and a good attorney, just to make sure nothing's missed.
Welcome to today's Retirees with Certified Financial Planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. Anchored in family values, Wayne offers practical advice to help you get the most out of your retirement years. For more information, visit today'sretirees.com. Now, here's your host.
Welcome to today's Retirees with Certified Financial Planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. We trust that you have weathered the COVID-19 pretty well. I know that some families have had some real issues depending on how things health issues, as we went through
health
some
issues,
of this.
business issues, job issues.
You read and you look around and you hear the news, Wayne, and you especially if you're a small business owner, a lot of those guys have really struggled, depending on your profession.
Right.
If you're a contractor, those guys, you can't get one to drive a nail right now. They're so busy.
Yeah, which is good. Even though lumber prices and construction costs are up,
right?
They're busy. People are still, they don't care. They're just spending money and, let's get our house remodeled.
Sure. Well, I was, matter of fact, in my neighborhood, there was a small fire back a couple months ago, and now they're into that process of rebuilding all of that. And I was talking with the contractor, and he can't find people to help him work. And the price of lumber is just, of course, this is an insurance job, so I guess the way he says, I don't really care because it has to be done.
Lumber prices are up literally 100% plus.
100%?
Yeah.
Wow.
More than double in some cases.
So if you just want to do a little backyard deck or something.
That's not a big deal, but if you're building a big house.
Yeah.
You're adding, potential tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands to the ticket.
Oh, sure. If you're building a decent-sized house and the price of lumber's up 100%.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Yes, that's...
Yeah, I think someone said a sheet of OSB, like 5/8 OSB, is like $30, something like that. Yeah, crazy.
So,
yeah.
So hopefully you bought a train load back before it went up.
No major remodeling on our end. But a lot of that stuff's going on.
Right. Right. So how in your home finances, and you're dealing with the COVID. We've been doing this. They said originally, what was it, 10 days or 15 days we were going to hunker down or something, and it's been 380 days or something.
Yeah, and that's, one of the things we, wanted to cover on today's show is, what have we taken away from this pandemic? And, it was an eye-opener to a lot of people, not just with having enough toilet paper, but running our lives from home. In some cases, businesses from home. My business is fortunate enough to be a... what would they call it?
So the essential
necessary business. So we were open the whole time. We still have, like now, as we tape this show, I have an employee that I'm having stay home because they were exposed to COVID from multiple family members. So we don't want them coming in the office and exposed to clients or So we're still dealing with it, But I'd like to talk more about the folks out there listening and watching, and see what they could bring away or take away from this whole COVID pandemic. And the one thing I wanted to see, and obviously we don't take calls or anything on this show, but I'd like to know how many people went out and invested in a fax machine, scanner, printer, right?
Sure.
Basically, people didn't want to leave their house, so how were you doing business? And too many times, well, it's crazy how many people don't have these items at home. It saves you a trip to the post office, which you don't want to rely on nowadays anyway. As you,
Yeah.
most people have experienced very bad post office service losses. Stuff never showed up. Bills, bill people calling and saying, "Hey, you haven't paid," and where the thing was mailed 4 weeks ago. So the scanner, being able to scan and email and sign things and scan it back in and send it to people and fax it to people is such a huge benefit.
Sure.
Not only for a normal retiree, but for somebody dealing with this pandemic at home.
Right. And they're relatively inexpensive.
$100. I
Yeah.
mean, you're less, and still so many people don't have it, and it could really just be such a convenience and a safety item for people to have this at home.
And since folks haven't been able to leave their house, or a lot of them for 6 months or a year, they weren't going out to eat, so hopefully they saved a few dollars.
Well,
in the meantime,
maybe, yeah, their Amazon bill might have went up, right? Or Home Shopping Club bill,
right? Yeah, some of that exactly. But we're almost out of time on this segment, but let me back up and totally except for the COVID. A year ago, that stock market dived. It tanked for about 6 weeks or so.
Yes.
And now it's back up.
Yeah.
What would have happened, just curiously, if somebody would have said, I've got an extra X number of dollars and put in that? They would have been sitting really nice today, wouldn't they?
It depends. It depends on the company they picked or the mutual fund. I mean, there's a lot of bargains back then. I mean, just for instance, locally in the area, people are familiar with Ford stock, with Cedar Point stock. And yeah, I mean, Cedar Point's, I think, up to near 50s, 60s now. And back then it was in the low teens.
Sure.
So put $100,000 in, you'd have, $500,000 today. Same with Ford, was around $4 a share. Now it's up to $12, $13 a share.
Right.
So that's a quick answer to your question.
Right.
But depending on the stock you chose.
Sure, exactly. Well, friends, we've got to take a quick break. Let me encourage you to go to Wayne's website, todaysretirees.com, or pick up the phone and make an appointment to stop in and see Wayne at 866-626-3990. We'll be back right after this.
So we've all heard the word rollover when referring to an investment account at work, or your 401k, your 403b, your 457 plan. What do you do with that when you've left your job and your 401k or other retirement plan is still at your old employer? Or what if you've retired? One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to leave your money, your retirement account, in your employer's 401k. Quite frankly, your old employer or current employer is the boss of your retirement account. So if you have questions about what to do with your rollover, you roll it to Wayne. Get it in your own hands, where you have the whole universe of investments and choices, not just what your employer tells you can pick from. So contact my office for a free consultation on how to roll over your old retirement account. A certified financial planner is a true professional, a well-rounded, holistic planner that helps you in all areas of your financial life. Estate planning, tax planning, financial planning, insurance planning. We have to sit for a 10-hour, 2-day exam, at least back when I took the test. It's not just a weekend designation where you go somewhere for a couple days, pay a couple $100, and now you have letters behind your name. One thing I think is important is that you try and find an independent certified financial planner. Somebody that doesn't work for a big firm. I myself own my company, Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. The buck stops with me, an independent certified financial planner, one of the only ones on the north coast of Ohio.
Welcome back to today's Retirees with Certified Financial Planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. Today we're talking a little bit about the COVID-19 pandemic that we've been, all of us around the world, suffering through for the past year. And some of the things that we can take away from that, what have we learned from a family perspective? That's one of the things that Wayne specializes in. It's family-focused retirement and tax planning. And if you need a good financial advisor or planner, let me tell you that you can get a hold of Wayne a couple of ways. Through his website, todaysretirees.com, and by picking up the phone and making an appointment at 866-626-3990. One of the things that in our household anyway is, we are very fortunate. We live in a community that has good internet access and good speeds. Not everybody has been so fortunate, and being in the broadcast industry, I talk with a lot of folks. The folks that run cable systems and things like this, they are telling me they're selling internet packages far faster than they're selling like cable packages.
Yeah, you almost don't need cable anymore with all the Hulus and Netflix and everything else.
Right.
And even the wireless stuff. But we talked in the first segment about the printer, fax machine, scanners, and a lot of those run on wireless. So if you have a hotspot on your phone or Wi-Fi in the house, you don't even have to have your scanner plugged in.
Right.
You could do everything from your smartphone. But it's important, if we have issues or snowstorms or tornadoes or disasters or more pandemics, you have to be able to do business from home without leaving the house.
Sure.
And people need to start getting prepared, if not already, if they haven't, if they haven't learned from this last pandemic, hopefully they'll be, more prepared next time.
Sure.
Toilet paper, water, scanner, fax machine, printer, right?
Right. Well, now, what if those folks are sitting at home and they're saying, okay, you need the fax and the printer, and the internet. What about security on that? I mean, some folks you read all the time. This company was hacked and all this information was, are you fearful of that, or is there safeguards to protect?
No, I mean, I'm not fearful of that. For just getting an email, printing it out, signing the form that needs signed, and scanning it back into your computer, and then emailing it to the person that sent it to you. I mean, like for a client of ours, hey, Mrs. Jones, we're going to email you this. We need it signed. Can you print it, sign it, scan it back in, and email it back to us, as opposed to them going to the post office or driving to our office and getting us the form we need.
Right.
So, yeah, security is not a big issue there. Security is a big issue on a whole nother, platform with these scammers out there.
Right.
I mean, they're totally legit, and there's a lot more scams now with the virus and stimulus checks and everything else. But that's a whole different ballgame. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Doing your normal everyday business.
There's no issues.
Okay.
Yeah, no issues. And for certain sensitive information, like we do tax returns, discounted tax service every year for our clients, $90, full returns. Some of them are this thick, and it's $90, right?
Sure.
But because of the pandemic, and even in other years, people traveling or whatever, we need to deliver the tax returns remotely. So we'll either FedEx them to them. We're doing my FedEx bills through the roof this year, thousands and thousands and thousands. It's crazy. It's just to keep people in their homes and keep them safe. But we also have delivery through secured portals, where you get an email and you have a password and code to get into the email to open it. So yeah, it's very secure.
Sure. Now, do you train your clients? I mean, 'cause I'm pretty technical savvy, but not everybody is. So do you have to do a little telephone training to say this is how this works, or?
In some cases, I mean, unfortunately, there's still a ton of people that don't have the scanners, faxes, and that, and they're leaving the house and going to their local Staples or Office Max or
Sure.
the ones that do have the scanners and printers, they seem to already know how to use them. And it's really nice. I mean, we get the item back in a couple minutes
Yeah.
versus waiting days or weeks for the other people to figure out how to get it to us
Sure.
when they don't want to leave the house.
Right.
So it's important, I feel, especially for the next disaster, whatever it ends up being, that people are prepared with good internet at home and, a nice printer fax.
Sure.
These are just little combination machines.
Right.
$100, $150, and it will make your life a lot easier.
Right. Now, how about just the basic reliance? I mean, we're all reliant on this nowadays. I mean, you
Too
can't,
much so.
You can't do anything. I mean, you mentioned the Hulus and the Fire Sticks and all this stuff. I mean, you can watch. This is when this is recorded. This is Masters Week. If I wanted to, I could watch the Masters on my phone.
Yeah. My son came to visit us in Florida, and we like going to Florida a lot throughout the year, back and forth. And he's into boxing, and we have some friends in common that were boxing and had the national tournaments going on.
Okay.
Yeah, the NCAA boxing tournaments, and these are young kids, amateurs. So we're out at a restaurant watching live these people who my son, are friends with, compete in a national tournament.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
So I mean, and it is. I mean, this is where the society has gone.
Well, one red flag is, imagine if we didn't have signal.
Right.
What if we didn't have the satellite or the phone tower access for whatever reason?
Sure.
Tornado, storm, hurricane, whatever.
Sure.
How do we live our lives? How do we get money? How do we pay our bills? How do we order food? And, you have to be prepared for the next time this stuff happens.
Right, absolutely. And when there's so many things out there. Friends, one of the things that Wayne helps families do is helps you put together financial plans, but even like with what we're talking about today, just some basic things that we need to be concerned about in our own homes and our own businesses to make sure that we can communicate with those around us the way that we need to communicate with them.
No matter what's going on in the world or in our community.
Exactly. We're out of time for this segment, but we'll be back right after this.
A certified financial planner is a true professional, a well-rounded, holistic planner that helps you in all areas of your financial life. Estate planning, tax planning, financial planning, insurance planning. We have to sit for a 10-hour, 2-day exam, at least back when I took the test. It's not just a weekend designation where you go somewhere for a couple days, you pay a couple $100, and now you have letters behind your name. One thing I think is important is that you try and find a independent certified financial planner, somebody that doesn't work for a big firm. I myself own my company, Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. The buck stops with me, an independent, certified financial planner, one of the only ones on the north coast of Ohio. So we've all heard the word rollover when referring to an investment account at work or your 401k, your 403b, your 457 plan. What do you do with that when you've left your job and your 401k or other retirement plan is still at your old employer? Or what if you've retired? And one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to leave your money, your retirement account, in your employer's 401k. Quite frankly, your old employer or current employer is the boss of your retirement account. So if you have questions about what to do with your rollover, you roll it to Wayne. Get it in your own hands where you have the whole universe of investments and choices, not just what your employer tells you can pick from. So contact my office for a free consultation on how to roll over your old retirement account.
Welcome back to today's Retirees with Certified Financial Planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. Today we're talking about the COVID-19 pandemic and what we have learned, what we need to know, and what we need to be aware of going forward. We've talked a little bit about, technology and, having that available, either through a smartphone hub or wireless access, internet, all of that. But we've also come to rely on another source. Most of us, if you're married, Amazon seems to come to my house several times a week now.
Oh, absolutely. I think I'm a worse offender than my wife.
Oh, really?
But yeah, and it's, we have to run our household from home. Mm-hmm. Our finances, pay our bills, do our investments, do our taxes. Things are opening back up now, but we all had to figure out how to live our lives from home and make sure everything got done.
Sure.
And as I have on my notes pages here, we learned a lot about certain companies out there and how reliant we were on them, like Amazon and similar companies.
Right.
Like in my case, FedEx and UPS. And then we were let down by a big company out there called the U.S. Postal Service.
Right.
And what a disaster that turned out to be.
Sure.
I don't know if you guys have had any experiences, but we've had, lost mail that never arrived. Just things. I mail my newsletters, and I have clients get them 4 weeks later. It's still going on.
Right.
They're all disheveled and crinkled up.
Right.
So, it's unfortunate. Hopefully, the Postal Service gets fixed. I don't know. You may have some more insight than that, but if you can fax, like we mentioned earlier in the show, and scan, it'll save you from relying on the Postal Service, and it'll save you from spending the money on a overnight or priority through UPS or FedEx.
Sure.
So between the scanning and emailing and faxing and printing, I just think it's a good thing for people to consider for the next issue that we have.
Sure. Well, to answer your question, I know folks who got Christmas cards at the end of January.
Yeah.
That were postmarked somewhere around the 1st of December.
Yes.
But if...
And you got bills you're paying. If you get a bill, even a credit card, a normal payment, even people that, pay off, we talk about paying off, keeping low debt, keeping credit cards zero balance. Well, all of a sudden it shows up 3 weeks later. Not only did it not get paid off, but, you got a late fee.
Right.
So people that normally have no balance are paying a late fee for something that it wasn't even their problem.
Right.
So it's annoying.
Absolutely. But what I guess what's going through my mind is if you, just the cost. You buy the fax, the scanner, the printer, and you're doing most of your work that way. That cost is minimal. Even compared to shipping a packet of material back and forth and all of that.
Oh, just postage. You getting in your car to go to the post office or store to get it faxed or wherever, Staples or wherever. The mileage on your car, the fuel, your time of going, 10 minutes one way, 15 minutes back.
Right.
The virus exposure potential. Spending $100 to getting a combination fax machine, printer scanner, to me it's a no-brainer.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why everyone doesn't have one. It's crazy.
Shh.
Yeah. I'm not guilty. I have a couple different locations where we can do business remotely. So, it's important for people to consider.
Right.
But you don't care about the virus, any. I don't think you were home one day last year.
Well, no, they wouldn't let me come into the office for a few days because I had symptoms. So, but everybody's different.
Right.
And it affects people differently.
And there's different age groups.
I have a sister-in-law that was flat on her back for 3 weeks.
Right.
With this stuff.
We've had clients pass from the virus, and we've had clients that were laid up for 4, 5, 6 weeks, almost didn't make it.
Right.
We've had a lot that it was like a walk in the park. So, but just to be on the safe side, you want to have the ability to conduct your financial business from home.
Sure.
Without leaving the house.
Right.
That's my point, I guess, of today's show.
Right. And that's one of the things that Wayne helps people, work through, even, on a very practical side. And that's one of the things that I like about Wayne's advice. We've been doing this show, for several years now, and we've done a lot of shows. By the way, those shows are available. If you go to Wayne's website, todaysretirees.com, there's a link there to Wayne's YouTube channel, and you can go there and you can find topics that we have discussed through the years, all kinds of things. And as Wayne says, it's family-focused financial planning and retirement planning. And what he'll do is he will help you put together the plan. I mean, and trust me, no question is too crazy to ask. I've asked a lot of them. And he's very gracious to answer those questions.
I mean, it's a different when you work with a planner like me, certified financial planner, as opposed to like a Fidelity, a 1-800 number. You just get some, or Fisher Investments or whoever else is out there. They're not going to tell you to make sure you have a fax machine, printer, scanner at home so you can conduct business in downtimes. Or I mean, it's just they're just going to talk investments. That's it. So it's important you get the whole package: a good planner, good CPA, and a good attorney, just to make sure nothing's missed.
So that, and that's one of the things that Wayne, he strives to help folks and families put those kinds of things together. We're out of time for today. We'll see you next week, but take the time and go to that website, todaysretirees.com. We'll see you the next time.
A certified financial planner is a true professional, a well-rounded, holistic planner that helps you in all areas of your financial life. Estate planning, tax planning, financial planning, insurance planning. We have to sit for a 10-hour, 2-day exam, at least back when I took the test. It's not just a weekend designation where you go somewhere for a couple days, pay a couple $100, and now you have letters behind your name. One thing I think is important is that you try and find an independent certified financial planner. Somebody that doesn't work for a big firm. I myself own my company, Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. The buck stops with me, an independent, certified financial planner, one of the only ones on the north coast of Ohio.
Thanks for tuning in to today's Retirees with certified financial planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. Visit todaysretirees.com or call 866-626-3990 to schedule a no-cost appointment with Wayne. Today's Retirees is brought to you by Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management, family-focused retirement and tax planning services, anchored in family values. Information and opinions discussed on today's Retirees do not necessarily reflect the opinions of this station. Opinions expressed should not be substituted for individualized consultation with a qualified financial advisor. For specific information, call 866-626-3990 or visit todaysretirees.com.